So for this next recipe, we are doing our version of a shepherd's pie. Now, I know everyone has their own favorite. This is going to be a little bit different, but still really, really good.
It's the
Definitely
ultimate
comfort food,
food.
perfect for winter.
That's
Yes.
right. This is a really nice warming winter meal, and we're going to feature some local ingredients, of course.
So we're going to start off a skillet. I have a pretty big skillet, but you can do this in a soup pot as well if you don't have anything like sort of this high. Medium heat. Again, we add a little bit of oil, and we're going to add some shallots. These are just they're like onions. They're almost like a mix between onion and garlic. A little bit milder than your regular onion, but you can use even just normal onions. That's fine. So that's going to go in. I'm going to wait. I want to hear the sound, so I'm going to wait just a second so it heats up. But what we want to do, actually, the first thing is take about 3 sweet potatoes, season them with just like a teaspoon of oil, pinch of salt and pepper, throw them in the oven, 375. And by the time you get everything else ready, those will be done. They take about 45 minutes or so until they're really nice and soft. So I'm going to take them out in a second.
Did you pop those in whole, or you cut them in
Whole.
half?
Don't cut them, nothing. So this is perfect,
poke 'em?
especially if your knife skills aren't the greatest. Yeah, just throw them in whole, season them, done. Really, really nice.
Are you pricking them?
You can prick them a little bit. I don't mind if they sort of break for this recipe, and because they're solid all the way through. It's not like a squash that'll burst on you. At worst they'll like sort of crack, but that's fine. For this recipe, it's okay. So you can, it's up to you. You don't need to do that. So shallots, it's whispering to me now. I know it's ready. Shallots going in. Maybe a little bit of garlic, and you can slice this up or just give it a nice crush whole. Anytime my mom cooked, everything was just in massive pieces. So, and I'm sure her knife skills were fine. It's,
Just getting it on the table faster.
Exactly.
is the bottom line.
So 2 cloves in, and then we're going to add, so you can cook that down for a couple minutes, and then we're going to add some carrots, again, great
Getting
orange
some
color.
orange vegetables into our day with this recipe.
And another beautiful stored vegetable is parsnip. Parsnip, really, really nice. Kind of like a white carrot, a little bit on the sweeter side. Texture is pretty similar. And again, a great ingredient to use. You can find, I mean, these grow in abundance in Ontario. So you can find definitely lots of these. If you don't want to use these, you can use celery roots. You can use rutabaga, turnips. There are so many different types of sort of root vegetables that you can find. So we're going to stir that around a little bit. And also I'm going to add some mushrooms. I want to make this is vegetarian. I'm not actually adding meat to it. So I want to make it sort of meatier. So the texture from the carrot, from the sweet potato, I'm going to get that mouthfeel. Now I want some more savory ingredients. So mushrooms are fantastic for that. These are cremini mushrooms. This and your button mushrooms are probably your most common variety. And I'm cutting them to sort of big chunks because I want a nice bite in there. And again, just add that, stir it through. So mushrooms are in there. And now this is the quick stock that I was talking about. We used this before when we made the poutine. Again, in a pinch, this is a really, really easy, big flavor liquid that you can add to soup, stews, sauces, anything.
It tastes amazing. You feel like you're having gravy.
So what I have in here is, this is just a mason jar. I have some bay leaf, some thyme, and some dried mushrooms. Now dried mushrooms you can find again at most grocery stores. They'll have dried mushrooms, different types of dried mushrooms out there. My favorite is the porcini mushroom, but shiitake mushroom has a lot of flavor as well. Those two actually have, in terms of the umami or the sort of savoriness, those two have the highest component. Shiitake is actually, I think, the highest. So if you find those are fantastic. And just about a small little handful, that's going to go in there. Tomato paste, another big flavor ingredient. Again, big savory, big umami. We're gonna add, whoa, tablespoon in there.
And I love these tubes because it makes it so much easier to just use a little bit.
Everything is in tubes now, which I love. This is another great thing in tube form that I'm starting to see. And this is optional, you don't have to do this, but harissa is a fantastic sort of chili paste from usually Tunisia, Morocco. You see it in France a lot. And it doesn't have like a hot that is spicy, but has this really, really nice flavor. And they usually have cumin and coriander and different spices in here as well. That makes it super, super flavorful. And again, a quick little cheat to make a really nice stock. So again, this is optional, but I'm starting to see this more, which is fantastic.
It's a very trendy new flavor. If you're a trend watcher in terms of food and nutrition, harissa is going to be on every restaurant menu.
And now we're going to cover it with some hot water. For this, I need about 1.5 cups, but there's no reason you can't. You can make a little bit more, and you can freeze the rest. Absolutely. And so I'm just going to give it a quick stir, just to dissolve the paste in there. And what happens is, when the hot water hits the mushrooms, all this flavor starts to get released into the liquid. The mushrooms start to rehydrate. They become really nice and soft. The herbs as well, those dried herbs, they start to warm up and they start to release their sort of essential oils and their flavor too. So this is making like a really, really nice quick broth. Really, really easy to do. So I'll let that sit for about 5 minutes. And I'm getting some nice color on the vegetables here. Now what I want to do is add just a little bit of flour. And you can use any flour you want with this. What this is going to do is when I add the stock, it's going to give me a really nice thick, almost gravy, a really nice sort of thick sauce, which for shepherd's pie, I love it when it has that sort of gravy at the bottom that you can sop up. Yeah, my mouth is watering.
So if you didn't put the flour, you'd end up with shepherd's pie filled with soup.
Yeah, it'll be a little too liquid.
You want it a little thick. So if you are gluten-free, you can always choose a gluten-free flour, and that'll thicken up.
Chickpea flour.
Chickpea flour would be great.
That'll work well. The reason I add it to the vegetables and not the stock is because flour, if you try to mix it in liquid, does not dissolve really well. It dissolves well or emulsifies really well in the fat. So because there's olive oil with my vegetables, as I sort of stir this through, it'll sort of combine with the oil, and when I add the liquid, it'll disperse really, really nice and evenly, and I won't get those floury clumps in there. So just stir it around a little bit, and we'll say this is 5 minutes sitting. We want to add that liquid in there. So slow and low cooking. This is about 2 hours. They come really nice and soft, really, really nice and tender. And again, beautiful flavor. So we're going to add this about, not all this, about 1 cup, about 1.5 cups. The liquid that you cook it in as well, save a little bit of it and add a little bit to this mixture. That is, again, full of flavor, and it is going to thicken up the sauce and give you a really, really nice gravy as well.
So you're getting some of the starch that has come out of the beans, which will be really good.
So this is it. Let it slow simmer just until the vegetables are really nice and soft. It shouldn't take long, about 15 minutes. And then we're gonna add our sweet potatoes to the top. So this is what it looks like.
Ooh.
The filling after it's sort of cooled a bit. You have this really nice thick gravy. For me, this is comfort food. There's lots of comfort foods. This is a really, really nice one. And these are the sweet potatoes. So what I like to do now, instead of, maybe I don't have time to start mashing them all, leave them on your pan and let it cool just slightly, and then get some parchment paper or even like the bottom of a plate and use your hand to just squish them until they're about 1/2 inch thick. Oh, these are hot. Let them cool. Let them cool a little bit.
Definitely. Put your oven mitt on and squish them.
Leave the skins on. The skins get really, really nice and crispy. You know, great nutrition, and the taste is actually really, really nice as well. So that's good enough for me. And then what I'm going to do is take them and place them right on top. Maybe squish them a little bit more. Try to cover as much of the area as possible.
I love this neat. No need to mash up.
No need to mash.
Mashed potatoes.
And
get the food processor out or any of that.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool too. Maybe. And then sort of put that right on top. And then you can pop that right underneath the broiler just until it's nice and crispy. So about 5 minutes. If you want to get a little crazier, we're going to add a little bit of white cheddar as well. Here we go. Big dish. Yeah.